All right, I'm looking at another Fibble. This is the game that's just like Wordle, but on every row, one of the clues is a lie. They're starting us with Clash. Interesting. We could do SH. The H would be the lie, so we'd have to have an A somewhere else. That makes me think of like a wash or a bash, but we can't do the other A. So, maybe can we do A something like this? Yeah, AR. So like Marsh would work. Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the S's is a lie. So we know there's no H, and we know that there is an A. So let's assume A and S are true for now. Why not? And then we need a C or an L. Could we do, let's see, L, A. Or maybe we could do ALS, false. False, which fits with the theme of a lying puzzle. Ooh, okay. Well, it's not the answer, but we're getting somewhere now. Okay, so again, one of the S's is a lie between Marsh and false, so we know the green A is true. And okay, so could the L be the lie, right? Let's think about that first. Well, that would mean everything else is true, so it'd be FAESL, which is not a thing. So the L can't be a lie. That's got to be true, which means that one's true. Could the E be true because it's supposed to be green? I don't know. I don't know what that would be. That's the thing. Could it be the lie because it's supposed to be gray? Maybe? What would well, fatso maybe. I don't know if that's, no, that doesn't work. Okay, so, right, if the E is the lie because it's, so the thing is the A and the S are true up here, so we have to have a C. If we're doing that. So that doesn't work. That's not a thing. Okay, so the E actually can't be a lie. The E can't be a lie, so it's true. So there is an E. So either the F or the S is the lie. Could we have an S but be in a different spot? So then the S would be the lie all 3 times. We'd have to have an E though. That's the thing. Something. We can't do faces because we can't do the C, but something ES. Well, faxes. Faxes would work. Let's go with that. Okay, so we know this is true. Wow. Well, we didn't get any contradictions, so it could still be something like this. I mean, obviously the X can't be the lie. Is there something else like that? Fates? Fates? No, you can, oh, right, because the X, right, the X can't be the lie, so the F, E, or S has to be the lie. Okay. Okay, and we know there is an E. What about, we can't do safes. We can't do the S. So there's either an F at the beginning or an S. I mean, at this point, if there's no S, it's the lie 3 times, but it could be. It could be. It would be something like this, except without the X, obviously. ED would be good. No, because, oh, we have to have an R, right? We could do an ER, because if there's no S, then this is true, so we need an M or an R. So let's do fader. Fader would work. Ooh, okay. Well, okay. So if the D or the R is the lie, right? Then the other one is true. So if the D is the lie, then it's this. But we couldn't have a D then because they'd both be true. It would have to be no D. And otherwise you'd have ED, but it can't be faxed. It would have to be, well, faded, I guess. No, but again, right, the problem is if there's no S, then you have to have an R or an M. So if we're not doing an R, then you'd have to have, it would have to be famed, which I don't think is a word. It is a word. Oh, famed. Famed? In the past tense? Wow, I'm glad I just guessed that, because I was going to say famed I don't think is a word. Famed. As a verb, like you past tense, you famed? I mean, you can defame someone, I guess. Wow, that's really interesting. That's a tricky word. I don't know that I would have thought of that as a verb. Well, got there anyways, even if it was, I sort of accidentally tripped into it felt like, but that's all right, we got there. So let me know, you know, how many faxes you had to read and how many, I guess, false marshes you waded through or faded through, I don't know, to get to the answer today. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more.